Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is John with the First Direct, and I wanted to talk a little bit about getting through or getting rid of the creative blocks that might get in your way. And there's certain things that resonated with me in the past for sure. But one of those first things really is focusing on the process, not necessarily the results. Obviously, we want the results, but we have to stay in the process and work through it in order to make sure that we have something that comes out on the other end that's concise and that follows, the rules of how you've actually made your content. And you want to find what it resonates with people to be sure, but it's about the process that could, in order to get to consistency, we also have to have the process to make sure that we can run that at scale. So make sure that you continue to refine that process. Don't get stuck making the process over and over again without actually putting anything out there, but just work on one little bit at a time. What's one thing you can change in your process today that's going to help you out? And the next thing is like befriend your inner critic. We all have one. We all have that voice in our head that is telling us whether we can or can't do something. And sometimes we have to actually befriend that in order to be able to simply acknowledge it. That way we can move on faster. So even if it says, what, that's not perfect, maybe go, you know what, friend, you're right. It's not perfect. What are three ways that I can make this a little bit better? Go ahead and make it better and say, you know what? Hey, now that I took that extra effort in order to do that, I'm going to push it out because it's better to have something that is out there, a content that's out there than no content at all. Even if it's bad content, maybe it's not perfect content. If you're just getting started, it's not going to be fantastic. It's not going to be over the top great. So simply by befriending that critic, acknowledging it, and just trying to focus on getting better and having a part of your process is always, how can I get one step better? It would be a really important part to get there. One of the things that really resonated with me, that's aside from this a little bit, was the idea of being able to walk through the process of generating an idea, starting in that explorer stage where you're really finding anything and everything that could possibly align with what piece of content or what it is that you're doing, and then becoming the artist and actually putting some of those pieces together and bringing that creativity in to paint a picture that's there without judging it. And then you get to the point where you can become the judge and actually say, is this good or not? Is there a way that I can fix this just a little bit better, make it a little bit better, tweak it here, tweak it there? And then once you said, you know what, this is a good enough product, let me move into the warrior stage where I'm out there championing this piece of content that I had, where you're putting it out there, you're following it, and you're doing all the steps and walking through those four steps. Sometimes you have to be able to take the time to set aside each one of those steps for an idea. So you generate the idea and then you walk it through. Maybe you only give yourself 30 minutes in order to do something like that, or less, whatever that process is. But you have to make sure that you're actually dedicating time. Part of your process of going through each of those might be dedicating time in order to do that and chunking it down. That way you're actually putting pieces out. And that's, again, going back to making and focusing on the process of action. All right, with that, let me know what you guys do to get through your creative process or anything like that when you're putting out content. I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. Take care.